Yeah! Welcome to Candied Hearts, a game by HusbandoGoddess. We've played several of her games so far. We've played the Wrestling Otome, Winning Hearts. We played Still Shining. We played A Late Night Convo, 2 O2A2 entries. We played Naturally Me, a wholesome D&D session. And this is Candied Hearts, made for this year's Otome Jam. Or the demo, of sorts. Candied Hearts, a game about our MC, obsessed with a gacha game called Candied Hearts. But a thunderstorm sends her into the game world itself. And we journey through the land of sweets, deal with the political machinations within, and maybe we fall in love with cute candy lads. Yes, please, let us begin. What's your name? Enter when done. Candice. I feel that's the default name for our MC. I feel like that name was chosen intentionally, and I like it. We are Candice. Thunder! Startled by the sudden flash of lightning, I knock over the mountain of candy wrappers behind me, spilling all manners of sugar and crumbs across the bed. Damn it, these are my favorite Dr. Spice sheets! I'll clean up this mess later. Need to check my dailies first. Gotta do your dailies. I feel like that's a reference to soft-hearted drinks. Which is another... Yeah. Your first taste of your favorite soda, Dr. Spice. Soft-hearted drinks where you get to date very lovely lads based off of your favorite sodas. Dr. Spice was one of them, I believe. Need to check my dailies first. Spice lover. Candice pulls out a mint green smartphone to play a brightly colored gacha game. Oh, yep, there's the familiar energy, currency. Flurry of rain patters against my window, drowning out the familiar jingle of Candied Hearts, an adorable gacha game that owns my heart, soul, and wallet. Do not wail for the candy boys. Do not wail for the candy boys. Think of your wallet, Candice. Who can blame you for being addicted? This game is some of the sweetest eye candy I've ever seen. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Shh. It all started 2 years ago. I was chatting with one of my friends, Noah, on Discord, and he mentioned Candied Hearts, some new mobile game he was spending all of his money on. We all have that friend who inadvertently gets us into a new gacha game and ruins our world. And we love them for it. I will get you into Limbus Company, one way or another. You know who you are. My fate was sealed the moment he showed me the screenshots. As soon as I saw the characters and their delicious designs, it was all over for me. What a good person Noah is, getting his best friend addicted to a gacha game. Yeah! At least he sends me daily in-game gifts, so I can't be too mad. Oh, when is this timer going to be finished? Tap, tap. Tap the little clock on the gumdrop forest to see how much longer I have to wait for my golden candy cane harvests. Let's see. My jaw dropped and the number flashes on the screen. 26 hours, 23 minutes, and 51 seconds. How has it only been 1 minute and 34 seconds since I last checked? It's been at least 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I flop my arms to my bed, dropping my phone to the floor, next to the pile of snacks next to my old device. See, that's why you need to get into 2 gacha games, so while you're waiting for your dailies to cool down on one, you can catch up on your dailies on another. And I am full of like, follow, and subscribe for more terrible life advice from yours truly. One day I'll have to find a better place to put all those candies, and get a new phone while I'm at it. You know, once my bank account is looking a little sweeter. I spent hundreds on this stupid event already. All for that limited edition red velvet skin from Mr. Bim Bam. Last time I spent this much was on the Mr. G. Leeton event a few months back. I still haven't fully financially recovered from that. There's no way I can spend any more money to speed up my crops. I really want those golden candy canes. Pick up my phone and open my banking app. Oh no, $214.23. Girl. No, I need some of that money for groceries tomorrow. Well, only some of it. Don't do it. No. Candice, have some self-control. I'll need groceries next week, too, and the week after that. Adulting sucks. Should go back to being a kid where I can spend my money on anything I wanted, like jawbreakers and gummy fish. Pouting, I opened the game back up and checked the event page to admire the cherry red hues of the prize I've been wailing for this past month. Not just any prize. The mythic prize. Only attainable after collecting 3,333,333 golden candy canes for the gun drop forest. Oh. And for the next batch, I only have to wait 46 hours, 22 minutes, and 32 seconds. Just as I'm about to throw my phone to the bed again, a small red dot appears to the event button. Notification? What for? Please be some free energy tokens or gold. Tap the icon as quickly as I can. The announcement window pops up slowly, buffering, so I straighten myself out a bit. Dearest citizens of the land of sweets, this is your friendly reminder that the Bim Bam Slam event will end in 24 hours. Oh, no. Remember to collect your golden candy canes while you still can. If you need a last-minute boost, you can grab some goodie bags on sale in the confectionery. My eyes widened, horrified at what I just read. No, Mr. Bim Bam. There's no way. Friend limited, Mr. Bim Bam. It can't be. Even used a fan-made event calculator to make sure I get the skin. This isn't free energy tokens or gold. This is a nightmare. Candice pulls out her mint green smartphone again. Trembling fingers, I check the timer once more. 46 hours, 19 minutes, and 46 seconds. Life is simply not fair. Heavy pit forms in my stomach as I tap the announcement again. Maybe I read it wrong. Maybe I'm just tired from staying up late last night. Yeah, that's gotta be it. I go through the notification again, slowly this time, to make sure I'm reading it right. Dear citizens of the land of sweets, it's your reminder that the Bim Bam Slam event will end in 24 hours. No. I ought to cry, shutting my eyes tightly. No, I'm not gonna make it. Not unless I pay a fortune to unlock more speed-ups. To countless hours grinding away in the gumdrop forest, collecting millions of golden candy canes and spending so many precious dollars. It still isn't enough. You've gotta be fucking kidding me! My sorrow turns to anger. As I realize there's not even anything I can do with those golden candy canes outside the event. I've already unlocked everything else on the Sweetie Pass. No. With sweaty palms, I close the app and open up the trusty forums of Reddit. There's gotta be another way to farm these golden candy canes without spending another dollar. I refuse to believe otherwise. Come on, don't fail me now, F/Candied Hearts! Frantic scrolling yields nothing but sore fingers, but I'm not about to give up now. I begin typing my post on my own. There's gotta be an answer out there somewhere. My fellow citizens of the Land of Sweets, I need your help. After a few moments of furiously typing, I post my query without so much as double-checking my spelling. There's no time! Motion name. Sweet Tart is fairly well known among the Reddit community, so surely someone will come to my aid. Almost immediately my phone rings with new notifications. Deleted. There are 4 replies. 4 chances to save my life. Let's see. No, Sweet Tart! Don't tell me you're not getting the limited edition red velvet Mr. Bim Bam skin! Not after all the money you spent! Commiserations, Queen Caramel. I knew who's gonna get that skin. It was gonna be you. What happened? Yeah, Candice, what happened? The event isn't over. The event isn't over yet. I'll get that skin if it's the last thing I do. I scroll down to the next comment in hopes of finding an actual solution. Sorry, but there's no way to spend up the time without buying the sugar rush bags from the store. Good luck. Deep down I know that's the truth, but I can't afford any more power-ups. There has to be a way. 4th time's the charm? Taking a deep breath before reading the last reply. I know of a way, but I can't say it in here. DM me if you're interested. Links to a suspicious YouTube video with Mr. Beast's face on it. I'm giving away free Robux. This is so sus. A way that can't even be typed publicly. A way that the devs probably won't like. A way that can get me banned. Alarm bells are going off in my head. In so few words, CH Lover 123 raises every red flag possible. Red, like the type of velvet Mr. Bim Bam could be wearing if I got just a few more golden candy canes. Am I really that desperate? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get that limited edition skin from Mr. Bim Bam. If I don't do it now, I won't have another chance to unlock it. Besides, what's the worst that could happen if I send this totally inconspicuous user a DM? If anything sounds fishy, I can just close the message and block them. Still, something about the interaction feels wrong. But Mr. Bim Bam... I steel myself and push my anxieties away. If there's a way to get more golden candy canes, I will find it. For Mr. Bim Bam. Do it. For him. I type a short but sweet message. Hi, CH Lover 123. You said you could help me speed up my golden candy cane harvest without buying more Sugar Rush packets? Click this link here. Posts random random URL shortened link. It should go anywhere. Reading it a few times, I decide it's now or never. I hit send and wait with bated breath. I hit refresh. Still no response. Come on, CH Lover 123, what a time limit here. I hit refresh again, but this time it's a new notification. Before I share this with you, I need you to confirm something for me. I swear, if I say you need my bank details, I'll scream. Can I trust you, sweetheart? Well, that's silly. Of course I can. I mean, look how high my Reddit karma is. If that's not proof of my trustworthiness, then I don't know what it is. Besides, isn't it obvious by now how much I need that limited edition red velvet Mr. Bim Bam skin? I waffle for a moment between different responses before deciding on a simple and hopefully convincing message. You can trust me, CH Lover 123. Closing my eyes, I take a deep breath. There's nothing. Or everything. There's a way to speed up your golden candy cane harvest, but it's not exactly legitimate. A chill runs down my spine. Give me the forbidden candy cane, CH Lover 123. I can't have expected anything else, and yet the words still leave a pit in my stomach. Cheating will get me my limited edition skin, but if the devs find out, they'll ban my account. All my limited edition event items and all the money I spent on this game will go down the drain. Still, it may be worth hearing CH Lover 123 out. It may be breaking the rules, just a little. Just a little. A little doesn't sound too bad. What you need to do is go to the game's options and tap the mute music button 5 times to open the developer debug menu. Then you have to change some of the code. Change some of the game's code? But that's cheating. I can't do that. Lights in my room flicker as the storm continues to rage outside, mirroring the turmoil inside myself. Think back on all the precious dollars I spent on the game. On the hours I sunk into this event alone, grinding away in the gumdrop forest. Glance at the discarded gummy bear packets beside me. Well, because they remind me of Mr. Gelatin. Oh, gelatin! Oh, you got me on that one. I didn't realize that. Oh, God. The mayor of Gummyville. Oh. I hate that I love that. Maybe I can cheat just a little. Ah! The candy gods will smite you for your sins. My room has suddenly plunged into darkness. Has the power gone out? I struggle to sit up for a moment until it happens. As though in slow motion, I see my phone slipping between my sweaty, trembling fingers. Inching closer and closer to my face, I'm unable to stop it despite how slowly the thing seems to be falling. Ow! Bonk. Just my phone finally collides with my nose, another flash of lightning illuminates the room. Flash of light, searing pain. And then, nothing. I'm floating. What happened? What's going on? Wait. No, I'm not floating. I'm falling. Very fast. My eyes shoot open, almost against my will. Colorful environment around me blurs as the wind impels my face. I can't make out where I am. What the hell's going on? Ah! I land in a tree, breaking every branch I come in contact with. It's a loud thud as I crash into something hard. It knocks the wind out of me. Ow! I open my eyes once more, a sense of dizziness washing over me from whatever the hell just happened. Looking sweet. I sit up, blinking a few times, my eyes finally adjust to the world around me, and my head starts to clear a bit. What I see isn't what I expect. Rather than being greeted by the pink and purple pastels of my room, I'm instead met with so many bright colors. Pink, white, yellow, green, and candy. My eyes lay onto gumdrops, cake pops, and even candy cane trees. Every sweet I can think of is laid out bare before me. This looks like a world made entirely of sweets. But how is that possible? Where am I? What the? Must be dreaming. I do remember being in my bed just moments ago. I held my arms out and pinched a small bit of skin between my fingers. Ow, okay, definitely not dreaming. That hurt like hell. Rubbing my now sore arm, I let out a groan. I don't have much time to ponder my situation as I hear an unfamiliar voice cry out. You! A high-pitched voice, similar to an excited chihuahua, barks at me from behind. I turn around and raise a brow, trying to stifle a laugh at their tone. Despite them yelling, I can't help but think their voice sounds adorable. Here comes the boy! Here comes the boy! I love this boy. I look up to see a pink-haired young man approaching me. His outfit is a berry pink, only slightly darker than his medium locks. Though what sticks out the most is the sword that hangs at his hips. It looks awfully familiar. Oh, where do I know him from? I rack my brain, trying to remember where I've seen him before, until finally the cloud dissipates and my eyes widen. You're... No, it can't really be him. Though now the candy all around me is starting to make sense. The boy bends down to get a closer look at me, placing his hands on his hips. I'm? He demands an answer, his twitchy fingers inching toward his sword. Can't help but gulp. Don't! A happy song with silly vibes. Oh, that's a cute description. Don't draw your sword, Peppermint! I swear, I'm so sorry I didn't use your character for that long, but he was a starter and... Oh no. Are you the mascot character of Candied Hearts? Are you the starting character here? I'm sorry. Began rambling as nervousness takes over. The man's suspicion has quickly turned to confusion as I keep speaking. He obviously has no idea what I'm talking about. But his resemblance to Peppermint from Candied Hearts is uncanny. If this is a cosplay, it's almost a one-to-one replica. I look around me, taking in the sugary scenery once more, and the pieces start falling into place. The candy cane trees, the gumdrops and cake pops scattered about. I've seen this place before, too. This looks like Gumdrop Forest. I've spent countless hours the last few weeks trying to get my golden candy canes to harvest here. I would know this place from anywhere. If I'm in the Gumdrop Forest and Peppermint is standing in front of me, that must mean... I shut my eyes tightly and try to remember what happened just before I got here. I was trying to harvest enough golden candy canes for the exclusive Mr. Bim Bam skin, but I ran out of time. Gosh, I ran out of time! Sorrow rushes through my body once again. Can't believe I wasn't able to get enough golden candy canes after weeks of grinding and spending hundreds of dollars. I'm so sorry, Mr. Bim Bam. I failed you. I have only ever wailed once, and I've sworn it off. If you want to know what I wailed for, leave a comment, and I might tell you. I'm so sorry, Mr. Bim Bam, I failed you. Oh! When I open my eyes, I see Peppermint staring at me expectantly. I stop in my tracks. Suddenly, the event skin doesn't feel so important. At least for right now. I'll definitely cry about it later when I'm all alone. You know who I am? How? Peppermint's voice has a forced edge to it. I tell this sweet, smiling character is attempting to put on a menacing front, but every part of his body is betraying him. You're so fierce. You're so fierce, I'm so scared. I promise. For real. He shakily clutches the sword at his hip and raises his upper lip in an unconvincing snarl. You are fierce and scary and frightening. Trust me. Put my hands up in the air, trying to show him I mean no harm. Hey, there's no need for all that. We can settle this peacefully. You would prefer that, right? Try to de-escalate the situation before I give the man a reason to be threatened and actually attempt to hurt someone with that candy cane sword of his. Though with how confident Peppermint looks right now, if he ends up pulling out that sword, I'm not sure if I would be the one stabbed or if he would accidentally trip and impale himself with it. Oh no! Who are you? I'm Candice. Candice? I don't know anyone by that name, and I know everyone in the Land of Sweets. Did he just actually say the Land of Sweets? Like the one in Candied Hearts?
There's no other explanation. You must be a spy for Lakritz.
Ooh. I'm taken aback by his accusation. I'm no spy. Especially not for Lakritz, a bad guy who only showed up for like 2 chapters before disappearing with no explanation. Yes, he's totally... That's the mood. That is a mood. Yes, he's totally hot, but I can't form allegiance with a hot bad guy whom I know nothing about. I'm not shallow. What? What would even make you think that? Don't act coy. Lakritz knows our every move. He stopped potential trades by bribing traveling merchants with money, attacked other knights when they are out on the top secret missions, and stolen so many golden candy canes from the vault that we're now in a shortage. Wait, did he say golden candy canes? Peppermint keeps going on with his rant as I sit here, contemplating whether checking out their golden candy cane supply is worth the risk. There's no way Lakritz would have known about any of this, not unless someone has been spying on us. I'm going to find out who it is. That's why I'm out here to begin with. Also because I wanted to find someone's lost honey bunny, but that's besides the point. He's so precious. So tell me, are you a spy? I looked down at myself and almost burst out laughing. I'm still in my PJs! How could I be a spy? And again, I did just come out of nowhere, so maybe I shouldn't be too shocked that he's wary of me? Right now I'm up a creek without a paddle. If I explain to Peppermint why I'm here, he could help me. On the other hand, he's convinced I'm a spy based on, absolutely nothing. Clearly, all the sugar has gone to his cute little head. I can sarcastically play along if I want. Which I do. Obviously. Alright, let's let's see, what do we have available here in the demo here? We'll be sarcastic. Ah, yes, because the spy would totally dress up in PJs in broad daylight with no weapons on her and reveal her name to you. That's work. A soft chuckle escapes my lips as I roll my eyes. Grade A spy material right there. Yeah, totally. Peppermint furrows his brow. He's not impressed by my sarcasm, but I wasn't impressed with his accusation either, so we're even. Sarcasm will get you nowhere, Candice. If that is even your real name. Well, maybe if you weren't acting so fresh towards me, I wouldn't need to be sarcastic with you. 1, it is my real name. 2, really? You still think I'm a spy? I'm not sure about that yet. I've been told by the king that Lakritz would try anything to get intel from us. Sending someone who looks like they just got out of bed as a spy would be a pretty smart way to throw us off his trail. Hold up. The king? Peppermint serves a king? Man, if I knew I was going to be teleported here, I would have asked Noah everything there was to know about this guy, because there were like 10 kings in Candied Hearts and only half of them were even remotely important. Oh, the deep lore of Candied Hearts. Please tell me more. The boy. My thoughts are a chaotic mess as Peppermint grabs my arm, pulling me up to my feet. Get up. I'm going to take you to see the king and he'll decide what to do with you. I'm sure he'll be lenient. You're at the last party quickly, and I wonder if that's the truth. And what if he isn't? Peppermint bites his bottom lip and casts his eyes downward. There's definitely something he isn't telling me about this king, and I don't like it. He will. He doesn't sound confident. I just hope that this king of his is in a good mood today. Peppermint's grasp on my arm is tight and refuses to let me go. Left with no other choice, we march in the direction of his kingdom. Ah, home sweet home. Peppermint's cherubic face breaks into a grin so sweet it gives me a toothache. He extends his arms outward and shuts his eyes as if basking in the sun. God, he's so... Even though he accused me of being a spy earlier, his smile is so infectious that I can't help but grin. The power video game characters have for me, I swear. Mood. I have known this boy for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And I love him. You seem cheerful, Mint. Oh, Peppermint opens one eye quickly, his cheeks taking on a rosy hue. He shakes his head left and right, before opening both eyes and placing his hands on his hips. Mint? It's Peppermint, or Captain Peppermint, if you don't mind. You're a captain. Don't remember the Peppermint I used at the beginning of the game being a captain. Clearly he got a new skin. At some point down the line. Come to think of it, Noah did mention some characters get new titles when you bake them enough times. Maybe if I had used more strawberry swirls to unlock his evolved form, I would have activated that. Yes, I'm a captain. Is it really that hard to believe? Yeah, just... Ascension, yeah. Look over at Peppermint, who, despite his formal words, pouts and refuses to meet my eyes. Was it something I said? Or just give him enough materials, throw the money at him, and give him a promotion? Give me my elite Peppermint skin. Should try to cheer him up, at least to make this escort to see the king a little less awkward. Sorry, what I meant to say was that I can see why you're so happy to be home, Captain Peppermint. It looks, don't say delicious, don't say delicious. Delightful. Nailed it. Peppermint beams at my praise for his beloved hometown, all but forgetting my earlier fumble. Though his enthusiasm doesn't appear to be catching on for everyone. Townsfolk quickly clear the streets as Peppermint escorts me to the castle looming in the distance. Peppermint? I tried to ask him what's going on, but he quickly changes the subject. Hey, Candice, look over there! Points to a fountain in the main square. Its bricks seem to be made of fudge, and the water running through it looks like, soda? Peppermint winks at me.
Yes.
Yep. Did your stories tell you about this? Call it a fountain of youth or something? He chuckles at his own joke. This is the finest soda in all the land of sweets. All citizens are allowed to drink from the fountain for free, with bottomless refills. He pauses, his smile faltering. Oh, well, they were. Sorry, I got a little bit zealous there. What do you mean by that? Oh, it's just that, until recently, some people were allowed to drink from the fountain, but now the king has some new rules. It's technically property of the king, so, I see. Notice Peppermint's vibrant mood falter as he explains. It's strange to think that this sweet and colorful land could actually have a selfish rule like that. Peppermint and I stand in silence for a moment before he finally clears his throat. But enough about that. Look up, Candice, at the top of the fountain. There's something cool. Like a child at show and tell, Peppermint enthusiastically points up at the top of the fountain, where I see the figure of a person. Statue? Is that a statue? Not just any statue. Look closer. Surely you recognize him. I squint my eyes at the statue carved from solid toffee, and I try my hardest not to drool all over my PJs. He looks kind of familiar, I guess? Now I'm really regretting only playing the side stories of the characters I thought were hot. No, wait, nope, never mind. No idea. Peppermint's jaw drops and he lets out a small squeak of shock. What? Surely you've heard of King Caramel. He's the most important man in the land of sweets. Rack my brains. Well, Lowe, I've read of Candied Hearts, but nothing springs to mind. I think I know about the most important man in all the land of sweets. The only person who comes to mind when I think of that title is Mr. Gelatin. No one would be so disappointed in me right now. Why don't you tell me more about him? For a moment, a strange look passes across Peppermint's face. Before I can even blink, his cheerful smile is back. Of course, what a great idea. You should know who he is before you meet him, after all. Places a hand under his chin and stares up at the sky. Where to start? He really is cute. What a squishy little cheeks. Peppermint was the first character that Noah showed me that piqued my interest in Candied Hearts. His gumdrop button nose, the adorable sugar puff pants, his big eyes and rosy cheeks. There was no way I could resist. Right? After all in all, Peppermint was a good starter unit. It carried me through the first 2 chapters of the game. Especially those tedious gummy-filled ones when I had to get an absurd amount of chroma starburst to the mayor, just so he would trust me enough to continue the main quest. I hate those quests. I hate those fucking side chapters where you have to grind for event items in order to actually clear missions and unlock the next plot chapters and whatnot. It's silly. Absurd and just time sinks. Story chapters are usually worth it. There's some pretty fire events. Good bits of fun. Which is really weird from like the early days of that game. Some of the side events were just utter silly nonsense drivel. But yeah, as time's gone on, years have gone on. That game in particular. Some of the events have gotten really, really. Like, I feel like the writing's improved really significantly over time in that game in particular. It's more and more intriguing as time's gone on. Even in the side events. Majority of the side events. What game am I talking about? Take your guess in the comments below. I've been dropping hints throughout. I did get Peppermint's special ability from all the grinding, but when it was all over, I dropped them in favor of hotter characters like Sour Sam, Miss Strawberry Delight, and of course, Mr. G. Latin. Of course, as you start rolling your 5 stars and start ascending them, feeding them all the foes you can, you start just sort of swapping out the starters and the 3 stars and the welfare servants you get. I don't think you would blame me for Mr. G. Latin. Have you seen that gummy bear? Oh, I could take a bite out of him any day. Talk about gummy bear, if you know what I mean. Wow. Being with him now? I feel awful that I left him wandering around the town plaza aimlessly, waiting to be called upon for a quest that was never going to come. Yeah, I do feel that way sometimes when I leave people walking around my my base, doing tasks, running the factories, running the workshops, units that I never end up using. Even some 6 stars they never end up using in my base. I just sit there in their base, taking up space, putting in the work and the island. We do called upon for a quest that was never going to come. And that's everything you need to know. Oh crap! I was so busy thinking about Pepper that I completely spaced out when he was talking about King Caramel. Not wanting to give away about it, I was distracted. I forced a smile. Right. Thanks so much for telling me. With good timing, too. We're here. I want you to see if you can guess the gacha games that I play. Sure enough, the castle gates to the tower before us. Peppermint turns to face me with a reassuring smile. A smile I didn't think I needed until I saw it. I really am a little nervous to meet King Caramel. Are you ready? Sure. What's the worst that could happen? In the corner of my eye, I see a group of guards wearing similar outfits to Peppermint's, and I realize them as Palace Guard NPCs from the game. The tallest individual from the group makes his way to the front and greets Peppermint with a sinister grin.
Ah, Peppermint!
I see you have returned with a guest, no less. Peppermint straightens up, placing a hand on his sword and doing his best to look stern. That's Captain Peppermint, if you wouldn't mind, Reginald. Ah, right. I'll call you that once you've earned it, Peppermint. A snicker ripples across Reginald's little entourage. Peppermint's gaze falls to the ground. I can hear him quietly sigh. I need to go see the king now, if you wouldn't mind, Reginald. The smirk on his face, Reginald places his hand on Peppermint's shoulder and gestures toward the castle with his free arm.
Well, of course, Peppermint. Go on through.
The gates open, but they're not enough to drown out the laughter from the guards. With a word, Peppermint speed walks forward, and I quicken my pace to catch up with him. I pass by Reginald. He catches me by the arm and looks pointedly down at my wrists. I yank myself free from his grasp. Hey, what's the big deal?
Good luck.
Oh, nothing. Go on, then. Good luck. You two are going to need it. Raise an eyebrow. What the hell was that about? Turn around and see Peppermint already at the castle door. I jog ahead in order to catch up with him. Hey. You okay? Yeah. Never better. His shaky voice is almost a whisper. It's a complete 180 from how he was talking to me earlier. Don't let them get to you. They're just being jerks. I tell myself that every day, Candice. Yet they still somehow make me feel small. Every day? How long's Peppermint been dealing with their snide comments? Can't help but wonder if this is part of his side story in Candied Hearts, where the real Peppermint standing in front of me is a lot more complex than a few lines of code could ever make him. I'm pondering Peppermint's situation. 2 of us walk into the castle. Peppermint doesn't try to make small talk with the other guards that we pass, but that doesn't stop them from whispering and staring. Should they be directing their odd looks at me instead of Peppermint? Why are they more concerned with him than the strange girl roaming the castle halls in her PJs and bunny slippers? We come to a halt at 2 very large double doors. Peppermint clears his throat. Despite his earlier bubbly demeanor, it seems this castle and the people in it have drained him of his cheerfulness. We're here. Peppermint turns around, giving me one last look over. He nods, believing that I look presentable enough to show my face in front of the king. For my sake, I hope he's right. I'll be doing most of the talking, Candice. You should only speak when the king addresses you. Otherwise, he may get upset. Why do you get upset? He'll see it as a sign of disrespect for talking out of turn. King Caramel has already rubbed me the wrong way, and haven't even laid eyes on him. Yet, him and his stupid guards. However, not wanting to upset Peppermint any more than he already is, I simply nod and give a tiny salute. Speak when spoken to. Got it, Captain Peppermint. There you go. Give the boy a nice head pat. Oh. Apparently catches him off guard as his eyes widen a little bit before he smiles. We love to see it. Love to see it. We'll protect the smile. We'll protect this boy's smile. You know, it feels weird being called by my title, especially by someone who isn't one of my men. But it made you smile, right? Yes, it did. But moving forward, Peppermint will do just fine. You're not my subordinate, after all. His voice trails off, but he's still smiling. Quite like the idea of the informality. Alrighty, Peppermint. Peppermint turns his attention back to the double doors and pushes them open, exposing the throne room on the other side. There are a handful of knights standing around, looking more stern than the guards I saw at the gate. Oh. In the middle of the room, sitting on his throne, is a man with lightly tanned skin, a faded red beard and hair, and a lean figure. That's when it clicks for me. Ooh, King Caramel. He's the one I traded items with at the seaport to get experience and coins. No wonder I don't remember him all too well. Usually I'm in and out of the seaport so I can move on to my other dailies. King Caramel rolls his eyes when he sees Peppermint walk into the room. However, when he lays his eyes on me, I notice his grip on his throne's armrest tighten. Geez, I was trading all my valuable goods with this guy? Peppermint walks up to King Caramel and I follow closely behind. The young pink-haired man then kneels down as a sign of respect to his king. I awkwardly copy his movements, almost stumbling forward as I lower to one knee. Ah, Father, I found this young woman in the Gumdrop Forest when I was out patrolling. Wait, hold up? Father? King Caramel's Peppermint's dad? Why did he tell me this? Before I can question Peppermint about this, he looks up at his father, who is glaring daggers at the both of us now. Hey, what did I do? Peppermint's mouth forms a tight line as he pauses before talking again.
Father?
Peppermint!
Why is... Oh,
Father?
Peppermint!
why isn't she handcuffed? You really let an outsider whose intentions are unknown into my castle, my throne room, without restraints. Knights around us come alive and begin to murmur amongst themselves. It's not hard to make out what they're saying. You seriously want a stranger to the castle unrestrained? Don't act surprised. Peppermint is always like this. Inaction is practically his middle name. He wanted to take his title of captain seriously. King Caramel's outburst causes everyone to immediately shut up. Once the room settles back down to an eerie silence, the king clears his throat. Let me hear what my son has to say. Go ahead, Peppermint. Tell me why would you bring a strange girl into my castle without so much as a restraint? Peppermint rises to his feet. Father, you know I don't like using those. Restraining someone only makes them more irritated. Just last week, a prisoner that Lieutenant Bread Pudding restrained grew agitated and broke out of the cuffs and then attacked him. He's still recovering from the incident. You know the rules, Peppermint, and so do I. Outsiders can't be trusted, especially when you have to bring them to my attention. Must be handcuffed to guarantee my safety. Always disappointing me. The king scoffs and Peppermint's eyes glisten, but he remains silent.
Quit dawdling. Who is she?
Wasn't able to get much information out of her. I was looking for spies in the Gumdrop Forest, and while I have no proof that she's a spy, she was found in the same location as some of the recent attacks. Oh no. As Peppermint recounts everything that's happened at this point, my mind can't help but drift off. Pink-haired soldier's voice becoming white noise. Eyes wander the window, looking toward the free world that lays outside these walls. World that I wish I could explore to my heart's content, but instead I'm stuck here. That's when I pick on something interesting. Sitting on a tall tree covered in vanilla frosting is a purple raven that looks like it's watching me. I raise my eyebrows, confused, and the bird tilts its head as if responding to my action. What in the world? Before I can interact with the bird any further, Peppermint's cheery, loud voice managed to bring me back to what's going on. But she technically hasn't done anything wrong since we got here. Wow, thanks. Nice save, Peppermint. I roll my eyes at his attempt to keep the peace. You suspect she's a spy? For Lakritz? He says Lakritz's name. He sounds disgusted. As if the mere mention of the man's name makes him sick to his stomach. Lakritz. Is he really that bad? Can't have her here in the kingdom. Not if she's even remotely connected to Lakritz. Lakritz? Licorice? Is that a pun on licorice? I feel like it might be a licorice thing. Who knows what she could be scheming? We will give her no opportunity to give any information to that criminal. Peppermint speaks up in a quiet voice. Then what do you suggest we do with her? Safety of Sugar Rush Kingdom, I sentence the outsider to the underground prison. I'll decide in the morning if she gets executed or not. Oh no. My heart drops and I can feel the world around me start to slow down as I process what King Caramel has just said. Executed? Oh dear. We spent years playing this game. I don't remember anything this dark. No one has ever been murdered. This is a joke, right? Look at Peppermint, whose eyes are now as large as gumballs. Right? Seeing my companion off to the side doesn't give me any confidence. I want to die inside my favorite video game. And what for? I didn't even do anything wrong. Father, please, I'm begging you to reconsider. Why? If we show mercy now, what would people outside of this kingdom think, Peppermint? What would Lakritz think? Mercy is a sign of weakness, and I would not appear weak to my people, let alone outsiders who may want to see this kingdom crumble. We'll make sure that Lakritz hears about this. He'll think twice about hurting me. Oh dear. My despair morphs into anger. Without even realizing it, my hands went up into fists. Candice, don't do anything. That will give him reason to put you in jail. The entire time this guy's been saying me, me, me. He believes being a paranoid tout is better than showing a little mercy to someone who has literally done nothing wrong to him. Things are starting to finally make sense about this town. There's a fear in the townspeople's eyes as we walk by them. As though they're waiting for their terrified king to find something suspicious about their behavior. He has a paranoid bug up his butt. My mind wanders to the people who stepped into this throne room before me, perhaps in a similar situation, or came under different circumstances. Were they too sentenced to a cruel, unfair fate? And to what end? Stick it to Lakritz. Frustration begins to bubble up inside me until it's far too much to contain. I need to say something. It may not save me, but I can't stay quiet and accept such a cruel fate. Showing mercy is a sign of weakness. Peppermint's eyes widen at my outburst. Showing mercy is perhaps the strongest thing anyone can do. Peppermint didn't have to be nice to me back in the forest and on our way here. He could have ended my life right then and there, but he chose not to. Instead, he gave me a chance. That's more than you've done. Perhaps you could learn a thing or two from him. Oh dear. Look around at the knights around me. All of you could. The king laughs, wiping a tear from his eye.
You
Learn something from Peppermint. Your ignorance is showing, outsider. My son is naive, too kind. King Caramel says that as if it's a bad thing, but I don't think it is. Being kind is a wonderful trait to have. He would spare our enemies if given the chance. He believes in the best of people, all stemming from this strength you call mercy. Mercy will make you killed. We don't exterminate the root of the problem, it grows and festers, eventually infecting everything around it. King Caramel raises his eyes and makes a fist, like he's crushing something in his hand, an evil grin displaying on his face. I refuse to be infected. So if killing people allows me to keep living, then so be it. Now, Peppermint, be a good son and take our talkative prisoner to her cell. She'll realize how merciful I'm being by not ordering her execution at this very moment. I have something else planned for her. Ooh. I am torn right now. I'm embracing the mood, but there's also a joke I could make that I want to make that would break the mood. Mercy. After you've scrubbed all the floors of the Candy Kingdom, then we'll talk about mercy. King Caramel glances over at Peppermint dubiously. The boy looks down at his feet with a frown. He clearly doesn't want to take me away, and yet he can't disobey his father. Do I speak a different language, Peppermint? I said take our prisoner to a cell. Now. Peppermint, cowering under his father's presence, grabs hold of me. His hands are shaking uncontrollably. Sorry, I have to. Almost as close to my ear so his father doesn't hear. I can't help but feel pity for the sweet boy. We're both victims in this. I almost forgot before you two leave. Peppermint. Yes, father. Handcuff our prisoner so we can ensure she won't escape. Now go on, Peppermint. Prove yourself useful. For once. A moment of hesitation passes before I hear Peppermint reaching for his handcuffs. They jingle as he unhooks them from his side. Crafted in purple and white hard candy, the cuffs look almost brand new, despite Peppermint no doubt getting them some time ago. I'm sorry, Candice. Forgive me. Peppermint murmurs his apology before binding my hands in the handcuffs. They make sure not to do it too tightly, so as not to leave marks or bruises on my wrists. I glance over my shoulder at King Caramel with a look of disdain on my face. He looks all too pleased with himself. That's when I see something else. Rather, something missing. The raven that was once perched on the tree is gone. I look forward once more and follow Peppermint on to the throne room. A small group of knights carefully watching us as we head towards a set of stairs that no doubt lead to the prison below. We arrive at the cell, which, just like everything else in this world, is made of candy. It shouldn't still surprise me, yet there's something disconcerting about looking at the bars you are about to be thrown behind and thinking they look mouth-watering. I must miss Peppermint's small figure as he opens the door to my sugary prison. I look at him, he refuses to meet my gaze. Here we are. He gestures inside the cell, his voice stiff and robotic. If you wouldn't mind, please enter the cell and turn around so I can remove his handcuffs. I would mind, actually. Well, his voice trails off and he takes a deep breath. I promise this will be better in the long run. Trust me, okay? He whispers the last part. As miserable as I am at my own situation, one look at Peppermint's downcast face is enough to take the wind out of my sails. He's got it just as rough as I do. Thank you, Peppermint. I give him my best reassuring smile and step obediently into the cell. He offers a weak smile in return, but that smile soon disappears when he realizes what needs to be done next. Peppermint locks the door from the other side, the keys clinking together in his shaky hands. As the lock clicks into place, the reality of my situation hits me. I might have dreamed of being imprisoned in a sugary cell. It's like they say, dreams aren't always as they're cracked up to be. The unappetizing walls and floor are carved out of cookies. Rock-hard gumdrops litter the edges of the room. Surrounded by sweets, this should be an absolute treat. But the candy cane bars segregating me from the rest of the world remind me just how far from a sweet tooth's heaven this place truly is. Heaven. That's what I thought this game was. Sanctuary. A safe space where I could escape from the real world. That's the reality I created for myself. A reality that has been shattered into a million pieces by the very thing I love most. I feel my soul leave my body at the mere thought of Candied Hearts being even remotely bad. I love this game. I love its world, its characters, but now that I'm here, I want to disappear. I don't have the guts to finish that thought. With hot tears blurring my vision, I grip the bars tightly for support. My eyes flicker at Peppermint, who isn't able to look at me any longer, his own nerves making themselves known. I think about saying something to break the tension, but I don't know what could make the situation any less awkward. I stand around aimlessly until finally it seems that Peppermint can no longer take it and clears his throat. You know... His brow furrows as he searches for the right words. King Caramel, he wasn't always like this. Peppermint. I don't mean to be a jerk, but I seriously have a hard time believing that. No, really. Can't help but wonder why Peppermint is so quick to come to his father's defense. Why does he care if I believe him or not? Used to be a great king, and even a greater dad. I can't believe King Karma would ever put his son's well-being before his own, or his people's for that matter. However, Peppermint is insistent, so I gave in, despite my skepticism. We're talking about the same guy, right? The one who wants to make an example of me? Peppermint nods, his face softening as he recalls a rosier past. Back when Lakritz still lived with us, things were different. Hold up, Lakritz? As in, mortal enemy of the kingdom? I'm really kicking myself for not playing through Peppermint's side stories now. Yeah, he's our enemy now, but he wasn't always. Peppermint fidgets again, this time fiddling with the hem of his collar. He's actually my brother. My older half-brother. Queen Sweetwood was his mother. She died tragically when Lakritz was only a small boy. Shortly afterwards, the king married my mother, Lady Minty, and well, here I am. Motions to himself with his thumb and gives me a sad, half-hearted smile. I loved our life together, with Lakritz. It was just always fun times and smiles. Something changed. We only had 8 years of making happy memories as a family before our father discovered Lakritz was plotting to destroy the kingdom. Oh? Sweet Jesus, there's a lot more going on with this family than I initially thought. Father exiled him, even though he was still so young. We just celebrated his 13th birthday the night before. Well, Father's never been the same since. None of us have. Peppermint opens his mouth to say more, but stops himself. His eyes meet mine. They're wavering, but there is passion there, hidden behind the fear. I can't but wonder what he might be able to achieve if he didn't have to endure the constant torment of his peers and the wrath of his father. I'm sorry, Candice, I really am. I want to help you, I really do, but, Peppermint alter when he achieves his peak potential. He shakes his head, letting his eyes flutter closed for a moment. I should say something while I have the chance. What do I ask? Something has been bothering me. It just doesn't make sense. Surely there's a less extreme way to handle things. Why did Lakritz want to destroy the kingdom? Peppermint simply shrugs. I was so young when it happened. I don't know why Lakritz would turn against us like that. I always thought he loved Sugar Rush. It never made any sense to me, but once Lakritz had been exiled, Father refused to talk to me or anyone else about it. I've asked him many, many times, but he always shuts me down. I guess I'll never know. Despite being the one behind the candy cane bars, I can't help but feel sorry for Peppermint. There isn't much I can do from this cell, but I was hoping our departure wouldn't be so somber. You know, you don't have to put up with any of this. Peppermint looks up at me to meet my gaze, tilting his head to the side like a puppy. You're not who they say you are. You're not incompetent. You're not weak. So what if you hate violence? That doesn't make you a coward. It makes you kind, and that's something to be proud of. Peppermint's eyes glisten and he stands a little taller than before. Do things your way, Peppermint. No matter what, you'll always be the one who does your best. Who does you best. Oh. Determination flashes across his cherry red eyes. Candice. The sound of footsteps echoes down the corridor as guards pass us by. Peppermint leans closer to the bars, a finger pressed to his lips. Follows suit, leaning in so I can hear his whisper.
I promise.
I'm sorry I've got you into this mess, but I promise to make it right. Wait here. Back soon to... He hesitates. That's when it dawns on me that it might not be over after all. Peppermint, do you have a plan to get me out of here? Peppermint steps back and clears his throat. No, not yet, but I will. Just you wait. Before I have a chance to say anything, he waves goodbye and practically skips through the door out of the prison. First time since I arrived in this vibrant, multicolored world, I'm alone. The chaos of my arrival, the silence in this cavernous prison sounds so deafening. I can hear syrup dripping from a crack in the ceiling. I flop dramatically onto the nearest gumdrop rock. It's not as comfortable as it looks. It's the same level of squishiness as that packet of jelly candies I found in the back of my cupboard, hidden behind a bunch of other snacks, forgotten, until it was 3 years past its best before date. Oof. Peppermint is sweet, but he didn't even have a plan before he left, and who knows how long it will take for him to return, or if he'll be able to return at all. Can't sit around and wait and see what will happen. Take matters into my own hands, otherwise I'm screwed. Eat the bars. Do the direct route. Investigate. In order to take my surroundings in fully, I take a few steps back. My footsteps echoing throughout the empty prison. Maybe there's something in here from a past prisoner that I can use. Something that the guards overlooked. Kneeling down, I feel up between the hard but smooth pink frosting lines that lines the chocolate chip cookie wall at the far left side of the room. As I run my hands along them, carefully making sure I don't miss an inch, in hopes of perhaps finding a secret nail file that could cut down one of these bars begins to diminish. When I investigate the last inch of the frosting, I come up empty-handed. It'd be way too convenient, huh? Can't give up. Still more to this cell than I can check out. Next, I check behind the green and yellow gumdrops, hoping for a key that maybe someone took from a guard and didn't have the chance to use. Nope, nothing. Zilch. Squat. I let out a quiet, frustrated sigh. As I'm about to give up hope, I realize there's a place I haven't searched yet. Looking over my shoulder, I stare at the bed with glittering eyes, put my hands together for a prayer. Please, Candied Hearts gods, if you can hear me, do me a solid. Be something that'll help me get out of this hellhole. There is. I promise you I won't ever look at cheat codes again, and eliminate the word cheating from my vocabulary. Amen. Mustering up the strength to face what does or doesn't lie beneath. I walked over to the bed. There was no blanket to speak of. Nice. Like a 5-star experience here, I see. Actually freeze to death before they potentially put me in a guillotine tomorrow. With the pillow with a soft and squishy marshmallow. Which is a soft and squishy marshmallow. You know, in a different circumstance, I'd be excited about that, but it's hard to focus on anything but my impending doom. There's nothing under the pillow, either. Saliva starts to coat the roof of my mouth, and I begin to feel queasy. Getting on my knees, I look under the bed and scan the area, petrified that I will find absolutely nothing but darkness underneath. Journal. Startled, I barely make out something. Darkness. It's hard to say what it is exactly. Given that my only light is the moon and the stars peeking through the small cellar window that's just out of my reach above. I extend my hand, my fingers bravely scraping for the item. After a couple of failed attempts, my fingers manage to drag the item close enough for me to actually grab it. Pulling it out from under the bed, I can finally see what it is. An apricot fruit leather journal, caked in dust with a thin red bookmark stuck in the middle of its pages. Not what I was hoping for. There could be information in this book that could help me escape, but it's probably more likely some kind of depressing diary about a prisoner's last days. Oh. Now, I sort of don't want to read it, but if there aren't many other options here... Sitting on my temporary bed, I open up the journal to the first page. Cocoa Day, 1893 AS. After sugar. It's thrown in here with little care for my well-being. My crime is being out of turn when the king offered to only pay me 200 chocolate coins for my lot of items. Which are far and wide, going from town to kingdom, meeting all kinds of people during my travels. During my 30-plus years as a merchant, King Camo is by far the most unpleasant man I've ever had to work with. He always tries to understand or sell my wares, saying they aren't authentic. For a while I managed to haggle him back up to a reasonable price. However, this time he refused to go any further, saying he couldn't afford to. Yet he was wearing the finest wool and jewelry you could find in the land of sweets. What a crock of jelly beans! I called him out. The price being locked away in here for a week. There are murmurs of executions from other cells, but could that seriously be true? Would King Camo stoop to that level of animosity? I believe the reason he isn't sentencing me to something much harsher is because of the trouble he would get in with the trouble he would get in with the leaders of the other lands. If I were one of his people, would my fate be different? It's certainly a scary prospect. I flip through the journal, skimming through the different entries until one catches my eye. It's the name of the man who dropped me off here earlier, Peppermint. I start at the beginning of the entry. Sour Day, 1893 AS. It's been a few days since I was thrown in here. The cries of the other prisoners makes my stay here almost unbearable. All of them are townsfolk who were also put in here for idiotic reasons. I say almost unbearable, as there is one glimmer of hope in this godforsaken place, the king's son, Peppermint. I've heard about this boy in passing, even seen him a handful of times, as a young boy and as an adult. However, I was never able to get a proper read on him until now. Since my stay, he has been tending to me, making sure I, as well as the other people here, well fed and able to sleep comfortably. I remember the third night being particularly frigid. I was shaking uncontrollably, believing I was going to get sick or worse. Seeing me, he ran upstairs and came back late in the night. He whispered my name and passed a cotton candy quilt through the bars. Big quote was well made, and looked like something you would pay good money for. He's a nice boy, that Peppermint. Glimmer of hope in this cruel, evil kingdom. It's unfortunate that he has to be the product of someone as ruthless as his father. People like him, they don't last long in places like this. His light will soon be extinguished. That I have no doubt about, unfortunately. The journal continues on, chronicling into the last man's night there. It seems that Peppermint really made an impression on him. Peppermint, his kindness truly knows no bounds. I didn't know the cells came with a little book. It's awfully nice of the king to offer such a wonderful complimentary item. That's not Peppermint. The unfamiliar voice is the complete opposite of the savior I'm hoping for. This guy sounds much more disquieting, and I don't know what to make of it. Trying to steady my breathing, I quickly shut the book and placed it next to me on the bed. Ooh. That's a familiar birdie. Hello there, sir. I look up to see who the voice belongs to. A cloaked man steps out from the shadows, his wide-brimmed hat obscuring part of his face. First thing I notice is his vibrant mustache. It's the kind I'd expect a movie villain to twirl right before he ties the leading lady to a set of train tracks. But damn, is it hot! Yeah, you're right. For real, no lie. As he stepped into the light, he looks at me with passionate eyes, the color of strawberry pop rocks, glinting with glee and a hint of danger. Something captivating about him that holds my gaze. He walks toward me slowly and deliberately, the elaborate feather on his hat bouncing softly with each mesmerizing step. Who are you? Don't need to ask. There's only one person he can possibly be, but I ask my question anyway. Besides, he seems like the type to prefer a dramatic entrance. I won't rob him of the opportunity. The man smirks, and I hate how it makes my heart flutter. Pull yourself together, Candice. It's just a man. I must have lost my touch. I need to introduce myself. Very well. He swoops low into a bow, swishing his cloak with a gaudy theatrical flair.
My name, sweetheart, is Lakritz.
Yes, but you already know that, don't you? Not a question. It's like he can read my thoughts. I ball up my fists and try to smooth my expression. I won't let this charming, elegant, handsome man get to me, I swear. I've heard of you. I've heard of you. I glare at him. I don't want him to think that his charms work on me. You're the guy who's plotting against the kingdom, the reason why I'm locked up in here to begin with. Lakritz grins at me, looking far too delighted to be told he's the reason for my imprisonment. Just who does this guy think he is? He clicks his tongue as he looks at the bars up and down. My, we are in a pickle. Lakritz grins and gestures to a small raven perched atop his shoulder. I recognize it immediately as the bird observing the throne room earlier. This time, however, it's clutching a ring of keys in its beak. Those keys? I don't suppose they're the ones that happen to unlock this cell, are they?
Naturally.
Little Veronica works so hard to snatch them. Oh, she's getting the head pats! She's getting the head rubs. Oh, she's so cute. I can't say I appreciate the smug look on his face, but I want to get out of here and get out quickly. I need to play my cards right and get those keys. What do you think? What do you want, Lakritz? If you're taking such a risk to visit me here, there must be something you're hoping to get from me. Sharp and to the point. I like that in a woman. He winks and I roll my eyes. Hardly in the mood for flirting when I'm in my PJs, imprisoned in a dungeon in a gacha game. I'm aware time is of the essence, so I'll be direct. I'm willing to use these keys to unlock the door and release you from your cell, on one condition. I held my breath. I knew there had to be a catch. There's always a damn catch. You use your newfound freedom to help me with my little quest to destroy the kingdom. I blink a couple of times, dumbfounded at his outrageous request. What?
Sweetheart.
You've met the king, sweetheart. You can't honestly tell me the people of Sugar Rush are better off being ruled by him. Lakritz spits out that last word, venom dripping in his voice. His face is darkened by a sneer. His cherry red eyes burning with such intense hatred it raises goosebumps across my skin. It takes a moment to breathe and compose himself. I can't say I blame him for despising the king. I only just met him and I don't exactly love the guy. This level of fury, there's definitely more to this. Why me? You don't know anything about me. Precisely, but neither does the king. Whatever it is that you've done or haven't done has frightened the old man, and frankly, that's the kind of secret weapon I need to destroy the kingdom. I can't just leave a pretty woman like yourself to rot away in this cell now, can I? Sweet talk never stops with this guy. But why destroy the entire kingdom? Why not just overthrow the king? I asked myself the same thing once. What happens when King Caramel is gone? Someone has to take his place. The wretched cycle would just continue. You can assume that the next king would be bad. The next in line would be Peppermint, right? I think he'd make a fine leader for this place. Can I? Can't I? Power corrupts even the kindest of souls. As long as the monarchy exists, the people of Sugar Rush cannot be free. The only solution is to destroy the kingdom in its entirety. Oh boy. Question him. I understand where he's coming from, but still, destroy the kingdom. That just seems so extreme. Surely that can't be the only solution. I do see where you're coming from. Lakritz folds his arm across his chest and looks at me expectantly. He raises an eyebrow. But surely there's a less dramatic way to handle things. Besides, without some sort of leadership, Sugar Rush will run itself into chaos. Everyone needs a leader. Perhaps, but not this leader. I agree that King Caramel is cruel and unjust, but even so, getting rid of the whole hierarchy is not only unrealistic, it's absurd. There must be another way to be rid of King Caramel without needing to take such drastic measures. I'm disappointed. I thought you, an outsider, would be sympathetic to my vision. I suppose that's understandable since you only just arrived. You haven't seen the full extent of King Caramel's corruption. Lakritz sighs, looking over me with contemplative eyes. Perhaps with time, as you see more of how people suffer under his rule, you'll come to understand why such drastic measures are unnecessary. Despite not agreeing with his methods, I can't help but be intrigued by such a unique individual. Considering Lakritz completely disappeared from the story this came, this may be my only chance to get an inside scoop. Lakritz, these plans for New Sugar Rush, do they have anything to do with why you were exiled? His face hardens and he waves a hand as if through brushing my question out of thin air. I'm afraid you don't have time for idle chit-chat. The guards will no doubt be here soon to check for any unsavory types lurking around. Well, he's not wrong. Be caught at any moment by one of the guards. Though I can't but think he doesn't want to divulge any more information to someone who isn't completely on board with his plan. He takes the ring of keys out from his companion and inserts one into the lock. He twists it, but to no avail. The door remains locked. He doesn't actually know what set of keys he has, does he? He just grabbed a set of keys and... Lakritz, are you sure those are the right keys? Of course, now just wait a moment and I'll have you out of here in no time. Yeah, sure. It's not like I have anywhere else to be. He sighs and begins flicking through the keys, testing them in the locks. You know, for someone who came in with such swagger, he's really taking his time unlocking this door. This is the guy who wants to dismantle the entire monarchy? Maybe Sugar Rush is doomed either way. Ah, I told you I had it. Yeah, do you mind opening the door? I feel much better when I never have to see these bars ever again. Okay. Lakritz opens the door with a flourish, stepping aside so I can finally exit the cell. A wave of relief washes over me as I pass through the door, my freedom restored. For now, anyway. I turn back to face Lakritz. Regardless of his reputation at the castle, there's no denying that without him, I'd still be locked up. Hey, Lakritz?
Naturally.
Yes, sweetheart. Give him the warmest smile I can muster up in this situation. Thanks. Oh, he smiles back at me. In the low light of the prison, I can almost see a tinge of red spreading across his cheeks. You're quite welcome. I'll admit I'm a little dismayed that you don't see things my way, but I'll forgive you. Just this once. We're not entirely out of the question here. He passes the key back to the bird on the shoulder and begins leading the way down the corridor. We have seen our two distinct routes now. Lakritz's dismantle Sugar Rush. And, Peppermint's, probably, save it from within. I'll take whatever opportunity I can to piss off the old man. Lakritz walks ahead of me so I can't see the expression on his face, but he speaks with enough hostility for me to picture the scowl. Regardless of his motivation, I'm grateful for his assistance. So, what now? Operation Escape the Castle? Lakritz looks back over at me, over his shoulder with a cheeky smirk. Of course. Ooh. We exit the passage Peppermint had walked me down earlier, and we enter the castle proper. Between the glamour of wealth and the fact that it's all made of candy, I should be enjoying the mouth-watering architecture. But it's a little difficult to appreciate that now that I'm a fugitive. So how are we going to... Ooh. So how are we going to... Lakritz quickly spins around and presses a finger to my lips. I want to protest, but before I can hear footsteps around the corner. I must forget all about the guards still roaming around. Did you hear? Peppermint captured a spy for Lakritz. Apparently she's weird looking, with strange clothes that aren't made from any sweet anyone has ever seen. Hey, I don't look weird. I tug at my pajama shirt self-consciously and catch an amused look from Lakritz in the corner of my eyes. Wait, Peppermint, as in our captain. There's no way someone like him actually called a spy. You don't think he could catch us a cold? Really? These guys have nothing better to do than talk crap about Peppermint. Hearing them berate such a kind man makes me angry, and if not for the predicament I find myself in now, I'd definitely jump in and let them know how wrong they are. Lakritz taps my shoulder, pulling me from my reveries. There's a sense of urgency in his eyes that reminds me that we are, in fact, fugitives trying to escape the castle. And two guards very keen to imprison us are about to turn around the corner any moment now. Operation Escape the Castle needs a little improvisation. I search my surroundings for ideas. To our left looms the grand doorway to the throne room. I remember passing through it when I was being brought through the prison cell. At this time of night, it's likely to be empty, and we could hide in there while we wait for the guards to pass. To our right is a staircase leading to the next floor, but I have no idea what could be up there. It's a mystery, but it might be better than jumping out of a window or waltzing out the front door. I don't want to get caught. I need to make a decision. I need to make it now. We should Lakritz and I go to hide for the guards. Stairs. The guards will check the throne room, no doubt about that. So I know there wasn't an exit in there. I'll take my chances with the stairs if it prolongs our chances of staying hidden. Down the stairs as quickly and quietly as I can, my footsteps muffled by my fluffy slippers. I catch Lakritz following behind me, though his movements are almost as silent, if not more than mine. He must be used to being stealthy. We reach the top of the stairs without much thought, enter the first door we see. This is Peppermint's room. Just a prediction, but we're sure to close it softly. Take a step back in the darkness to evade the guards that are passing by below us. Confident the coast is clear, we begin to take in our surroundings. Oh. Lakritz reaches for a lamp, and the room illuminates with an amber glow. Once again, I am impressed by the edible furniture and decor, but even more so in this room. Everything in here is a delicacy. Eclairs, exquisite cakes, dainty frosting. Everything has been crafted with the finest details. Almost too pretty to eat. Whose room is this? They have to be really important. Lakritz chuckles at my expression. It does in fact belong to someone of high caliber, a member of the royal family. Peppermint, to be precise. Peppermint? I'm shocked he has a room this nice. Then again, it would look bad on King Caramel if his son didn't have a room this splendid. I glance over at Lakritz. He's looking around the room with a conflicted expression on his face, his arms crossed in front of his chest. After a few moments of silence, I decide to break the tension. A chocolate coin for your thoughts? Lakritz lets his eyes flutter closed for a moment before speaking. Though I haven't been in here in quite a while, I remember this room quite vividly. I used to play in here with Peppermint when we were children. He mutters softly under his breath, so quiet I almost don't hear them. It hasn't changed a bit. Take a look around the room myself. The colors are very rosy, which seems fitting for the usually flustered captain of the guard. However, unlike the rest of his room, something crude sticks out on his nightstand. It's not often you get the chance to look around the room of royalty after all. Walk over to the bed and pick up the strange object. It's a small paper charm colored with crayons, no bigger than the palm of my hand. What it lacks in elegance, it makes up for it with spirit. You notice a note on the back, written in a childish scrawl. To Mint. I made this lucky charm for you so you don't have to be scared of the monsters in your closet anymore. Keep it with you and you'll always be safe. Lots of love. Lakritz. Oh! I swallowed a lump forming in my throat as I hummed the bittersweet realization that not only did the brothers used to be close, but Peppermint still thinks of the older mysterious gentleman. Despite everything, Are you ready, sweetheart? I hastily returned the charm to its rightful place in the nightstand, knowing that Lakritz doesn't catch on to what I just read. I straighten up my PJs as he looks at me expectantly and gestures toward the door. Right, escape time. Indeed. Lakritz plunges the room into darkness once more as we make our exit. I try not to meet his eyes as we venture out into the corridor. Is what exactly happened to these brothers? Do they really need to be enemies? I shake my head. Now's not the time to play family therapist. I have a dramatic escape to make. Since I'm unfamiliar with the layout of the castle, I let Lakritz take the lead, following him through twists and turns, trusting he knows where he's going. Just as I'm about to watch him, ask him if we were planning to leave before sunrise, he pulls me around a corner and presses a finger to his lips. Darn it, I knew I left them around here somewhere. Oh! A familiar voice pipes up further down the corridor. I peek around the corner and see Peppermint standing not too far from me, frankly patting down his pockets. He lets out a frustrated sigh. How did I manage to lose a whole ring of prison keys? Father's going to be livid when he finds out. Peppermint puts his head in his hands and pauses for a moment before slapping his cheeks and dashing off down the corridor, determination burning in his teary eyes. I need to find them quick or it'll be too late to help her escape. Oh. I feel a twinge of guilt in my chest as I realize Peppermint is looking for the keys currently held by my partner in crime, a set he was going to use to help me escape. He really did have a plan after all. Pull back around the corner and look pointedly at Lakritz. He rolls his eyes and gestures to his bird companion. It takes off in flight, the keys jangling as it flaps its wings in pursuit of Peppermint. All right, time to get out of here. Yeah, let's go. After a few more lefts and rights, and going down a set of stairs, we make it out of the castle into sweet, sweet freedom. I stretch my arms up and take a deep breath. I never thought I'd be so happy to be outside. Lakritz stifles a laugh and attempts to give me a stern look. It's not very effective. Calm down, sweetheart. We're not in the clear yet. Relax, made it out. What could possibly go...
Stop right there!
Oops. Lakritz shakes its head at me as we turn to see who caught us. I said to jinx it, didn't I? To my surprise, the man standing before us is none other than...
Mint. Long time no see, brother.
Brother. Don't call me that! His voice trembles as he places a hand on his sword. While Peppermint looks positively shaken, Lakritz is the complete opposite, oozing confidence as he smiles at his brother and slowly raises his hands. Is this really how you're going to greet me after all these years, Mint? I suppose I should expect nothing less from the king's lapdog. Peppermint visibly flinches. Oh no. I'm not a slapdog. I'm a captain. Oh, there's a difference. Peppermint grimaces and his grip on his sword tightens. Our eyes meet and I do my best to look reassuring from this distance. He nods, takes a breath and addresses his brother again. This time his voice is steady. Step away from Candice, Lakritz. Or else... Or else what, Mint? You'll kill me. Peppermint's eyes widen in horror.
What?
Of course not. I would never hurt anyone, especially not my own brother. Half-brother, but I'm touched nonetheless. I'm surprised that after all these years we've been apart, Father hasn't convinced you to utterly despise me. Yet, despise I could never. In any case, if you have no further questions, I believe we'll be taking our leave now. Lakritz grabs my hand, turning his back to Peppermint. Wait! Lakritz sighs, his hands dropping to his sides. Peppermint similarly relaxes, his hand no longer on the hilt of his sword. Waiting. How did you even get here? We have guards patrolling the castle 24/7, not to mention patrolling the towns, the forest. Lakritz taps his nose with his finger. That would be a secret, dear brother. Fine, but please tell me why you helped Candice escape. The reason is simple. I couldn't stand to see the vile old man who calls himself king kill yet another innocent person. Another innocent? What do you mean? Lakritz smiles, but there is no warmth in it. A chill runs down my spine and I hear Peppermint gulp. Maybe you should ask Father yourself. Another innocent? Then who was the first? Before I have a chance to ask, Lakritz sets off walking away from the castle. Looks at Peppermint one last time, his eyes cold. This feels like a route split moment. Goodbye, brother. Next time we meet, things won't be so pleasant. As he passes, he leans in to whisper a parting message in my ear. Au revoir, sweetheart. If I try to steal you away, I believe my dear brother will just follow us and I can't have him spoil our fun. If you miss me, meet me in Gumdrop Forest. The final parting swish of his cloak, Lakritz waltzes into the darkness of the night, his exit just as dramatic as his entrance. I turn back to face Peppermint. He's staring at where Lakritz had been standing, his lips pressed together in a firm line and his brow furrowed. You okay, Peppermint? Peppermint's head snaps up with a start at the sound of my voice. His face creases into an uneasy smile.
Yes.
Of course I'm okay. Why wouldn't I be? He is clearly not okay. You sure? You know you don't need to lie to me, Peppermint. You can tell me the truth. Peppermint nods vigorously. Oh? He walks toward me, rummaging in his pockets. Once he reaches me, he gives me a small sack. Peek inside. There's a handful of chocolate coins. Oh, just like the in-game currency. But why is he giving me these? Thank you. Peppermint smiles at me, and I notice the sparkle in his eyes start to return. You're welcome. What are these for? Head to the general store in town. There you'll find someone to take you to Gummyville. He pats my hand and pulls away from me. Thankfully, these PJs have pockets.
I promise.
You'll be safe there, Candice. I promise. Oh, no. Just as I'm about to thank him once more, I hear footsteps and voices heading toward us. Peppermint gives me a gentle nudge. Oh, I'll talk to them to slow them down. But, no buts. You need to leave now or you'll be caught, and then we'll both be in trouble. With that, Peppermint waves goodbye and makes his way back to the castle. I stare at his back as he leaves. I know I should leave, but my mind begins to spin. If I escape, will Peppermint be okay? If I do leave the kingdom, will I really be content to live the rest of my days in Gummyville knowing how the people of Sugar Rush are treated? I had the coins in my pocket. It's now or never. What exactly should I do with my newfound freedom? Look back at Peppermint and remember how the guards spoke to him, how his father spoke to him. Can't let him go back there and take the blame for my escape. I've abandoned him once before. I won't make the same mistake again. Peppermint, wait! I run up and tug on his sleeve. He turns to face me, his eyes wavering as they meet mine. Go on, Candice, this is the only chance. No!
What?
What do you mean, no? If you don't go now, you'll... I'm not going anywhere, not like this. I let go of my sleeves and his sleeve and cross my arms. Peppermint doesn't seem to know what to make of my sudden stubbornness. You can hear the guards quickly approaching. If I leave now, the king will see it as your fault. Think about it. I wonder how I escaped, and you have to tell him I got out on my own, despite you putting me in my cell. That somehow, on your watch, Lakritz was able to sneak into the castle and make off with your prisoner. Peppermint gulps. He fidgets nervously, glancing back and forth between me and the castle. But there's no other way. I can't send you back to that cell. He'll kill me, I know.
Please.
So then hurry up and leave while you still can. I will, but not without you. Peppermint's jaw drops. Come with me. There's no need for you to take the fall for this. It's not your fault. If you go back there now, who knows what your punishment will be? Don't go back in there, Peppermint, please. I can't just leave, Candice. No matter what Father does, what the gods say about me. He straightens himself up a little, resolve burning in his eyes. I have a sworn duty to protect Father and his people. I can't just abandon that. You won't be abandoning them, Peppermint. I tug on his arm with more urgency and burning tears in my eyes. Spend some time in Gummyville with me until things are blown over. Even if it's just for one night. Just don't go back in there. Not now. Please. Peppermint bites his lip. Voices of the guards are getting louder. Pink-haired captain stares into my eyes, searching for an answer. After a moment, he nods and takes my hand.
Okay.
All right, Candice, let's go. Yes. Grabbing his hand tightly, we run into the night in the direction of the general store. The castle growing ever smaller behind us. Free the boy. Free him. Yeah. Oh. Maybe this is the route split, depending on whether we directly agree with Lakritz or not. First we have to eat the bars. Wait a minute. From the cell, that's when it really hits me. It's made of candy. Totally delicious and edible candy. I have an idea. A terrible idea, but an idea nonetheless. I put the bars by myself and give them a sniff. Sure enough, the scent is sweet and sugary. I take out my tongue and tentatively lick one of the bars. Taste the familiar cooling sensation of mint in my mouth. Hell yeah! I confirm the bars are in fact made of actual candy canes and begin gnawing at them. They're larger and much thicker than a candy cane you'd hang on your Christmas tree, but I'm sure with enough work I can wear down even the strongest of bars. Ooh. After an embarrassing amount of slobbering, I hear a crunch as a chunk of the bar I'm working on breaks off in my mouth. Reluctantly, I spit it on the floor. It's a waste of perfectly good candy, but there's no time to eat it all. It's sick before I make a big enough hole to escape. I'll be in trouble. Oh dear. After a few moments, my jaw is aching, and I can hear guards passing by in the corridor outside. It's a good start, but despite how easy and delicious this sounded earlier, it will take a while to make a hole big enough to crawl through. Well, we have to try, don't we? Keep chewing. Keep trying, I'm sure I'll get through. I rubbed my jaw before getting back to chomping on the bars. All these years of snacking on hard candy are paying off now. Suck on that, dentist. Candy does have life-saving benefits. A few more minutes of jaw breaking, jail biting, another chunk of the bars cracks off. Nearly there. It's been a while since I last heard a guard come by. Don't think they would leave a prisoner alone for too long, so someone is bound to show up soon. Keep chewing. Come this far. It's like the time the special chocolate bunny ears item was on the Easter egg hunt banner. Keep trying to get the prize eventually. Except in this case, the prize is freedom and living another day. So you know, the stakes are a little higher. Keep gnawing at the candy cane bars. I guess I don't think I'll be having the minty treat for a long time. Eventually, the piece breaks off and I let out an excited cry of relief. Ha! It worked. Third time believes the charm. Putting the pile of soggy, splintered candy cane on the mush on the floor, I prepare to jump my way through the next bar. Before I can get cracking, I hear a slow clapping echoing down the corridor.
Well done, sweetheart. I'm impressed.
There he is. Who? He's an eyebrow looking up and down, feigning ignorance. I know who he is, of course. I don't want to stroke his ego any further. Except we gave him a chance to introduce himself. We inadvertently stroked his ego. His smirk changes to a cheeky grin as he takes another step forward. We're going to play that game, aren't we? I imagine to keep a straight face, but I can't stop the heat rising to my cheeks when I hear the sultry tone of his voice. That's cute, but remember, sweetheart, you can't fool me. I scoff and turn away. Lakritz chuckles as he takes a step back again, and I let out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. Wait, sweetheart? How does he know that name? Oh, that's her in-game name! I have my mouth to ask, but Lakritz cuts me off. He clicks his tongue as he looks at the bars up and down. My, we are in a pickle. I have to admit I'm impressed by your ingenuity. All my years of spying on this castle, I've only ever seen a handful of people desperate enough to try and eat the bars. And even then, you're the only one who kept trying more than one measly attempt. His gaze flicks across to mine. Meeting mine, his mouth curves into a warm smile. That kind of tenacity, I find it quite admirable. I'm taken aback by his sincerity, but the compliment warms my heart. Even it feels a little odd to be praised for chowing down on the bars of my prison cell. Thank you. That's, sweet of you to say. For that you deserve a reward. Okay. I agree. Because I can see your point. The current system allows cruel people like King Camel to rule unchallenged. Then it's broken and needs to be dismantled so a new, better system can be built. Something like a democracy where people can vote for their leaders. Seems to be more in line with what Lakritz wants. Can't say that the people of Sugar Rush would be against that idea themselves. Lakritz grins at me, his eyes sparkling. Precisely. You know, sweetheart, as soon as I saw that fire in your eyes, I knew you were exactly who I was looking for. Oh? And who are you looking for? What'd you call me? A secret weapon? Lakritz takes the ring of keys from his companion and twirls them on his finger before clasping what I presume to be the correct key for my door, offering me a conspiratorial wink as he leans in closer to the bars. Who was I looking for? That's an excellent question, my dear. Someone more than a weapon, I assure you. Perhaps I'll tell you more when we topple the monarchy. Together. And perhaps I'll be more agreeable to your revolutionary plans if you let me out of this cell? Oops. Lakritz chuckles and inserts the key to the lock. I twist it, but to no avail. The door remains locked. I raise my eyebrow at him. These are the keys for the cells, right? Lakritz flashes me another toothy grin and leans casually against the bars. Of course. Now just wait for a moment and I'll have you out of here in no time. Resist the urge to groan. Right, I believe that when I see it. Just looking at them makes me feel sick. Candy canes have been forever ruined for me. You sure? It seemed like you enjoyed eating them. I'm positive. Alright, let's go. You're quite welcome, but remember, I didn't do this for free.
You owe me.
Well, well. We're on the romance route now. Passes the keys back to the bird on his shoulder and begins leading the way down the corridor. Don't forget our deal, sweetheart. I have high hopes for you. Following along behind him, I can't help but feel I may have got myself in over my head with this whole overthrowing the monarchy thing. However, I'm just glad to be out of that cell. On the left. Need to move quickly. I don't trust those stairs. Who knows what might be up there? I point in the direction of the throne room and Lakritz nods. Together we slip through the door and close it silently behind us just as we hear the guards rounding the corner. Whew, made it just in time. Holding our breath, Lakritz and I make eye contact while we wait for the guards to pass. We stand in eerie silence and I'm sure that the guards must be gone by now. Lakritz and I are out left in the empty throne room, lit only by the moonlight streaming through the windows. I let out the breath I had been holding and sigh with relief. That was a close one. Look up at Lakritz, expecting a snarky remark or a mischievous grin, but instead I'm surprised to see him looking around the room with a pensive, almost somber expression on his face. Hey, you okay there, Lakritz? I wave my hand near his face and he turns to look at me. Lakritz blinks before settling back into an easy smile. Yeah, sweetheart, never better. You sure? Raises his eyebrows, his smile faltering. Veronica nudges Lakritz's cheek gently with her head. It seems to cheer him up a little. Being in this castle brings back memories. Some of them fond, some of them not so much. I recall my conversation with Peppermint earlier. Makes sense that Lakritz would be a little nostalgic seeing this castle after so much time. Peppermint mentioned you used to live here. What was that like? Lakritz stares in the distance again as he ponders my question. He walks toward the windows, the moonlight shimmering across his indigo cloak with each step he takes. I had teachers, specialists in every subject and skill you could imagine, all employed by my father, of course. I was well fed, given the finest clothes to wear and allowed to spend however many hours I desired reading my way through the royal library. I didn't take this guy for a bookworm, but I guess you should never judge a book by this cover, no matter how flamboyant. It was a sheltered life. Peppermint and I weren't allowed to leave the castle except for special occasions such as parades. Even then our father was paranoid. He told us to stay inside, not as a punishment, but rather for our protection. I don't know. Being allowed to stay inside all day? Pampered and protected? Free to spend as much time as you want on your hobbies? Well, it sounds like a dream come true. Imagine how many more events I could rank it if I didn't have to worry about work or bills or groceries. Mood. I hear Lakritz click his tongue as he leans against the window and looks down at the town below. The sound is enough to grab my attention again, but it's the scowl darkening his face that keeps my focus on him. I was a fool. A naive, weak fool who couldn't fend for himself and had no idea of the lives of those I thought I would one day rule. Oh, I'd almost forgotten that he was the eldest son. For his exile, Lakritz would have been the heir. And Peppermint is next in line to rule. Duty he never thought he'd have to fulfill. One that no one thinks he's capable of fulfilling. A brother who thought he would be responsible for running the kingdom is now a criminal in his own home, hell-bent on destroying it. How are these boys end up in this mess? Lakritz turns back to look at me, his eyes burning with a fiery passion. But now I know everything, sweetheart. I won't rest until the king is gone and the people are free. He pushes away from the window with a dramatic kick and points toward the doorway we just entered from.
Come, it's time we made our grand escape.
Yes, sir. With his boots clicking across the floor, Lakritz makes his way across the room and presses his ear against the door. Once he's satisfied there are no more guards on the other side, he carefully opens the door and gestures for me to exit. Ladies first. Thank you. Feeling invigorated by his passion and flair for the dramatic, I return to the hallway once more. Double check for any guards, and when I'm satisfied that only Lakritz and his bird friend are nearby, I let out a sigh of relief. I'm so ready to be out of here. Ooh. I don't want to waste the opportunity I've been given. Feeling myself for a long night of walking, I turn back to Peppermint one last time. Hey, Peppermint. He turns around, making eye contact with me. Gently smile at him. Thank you. For everything. He smiles but says nothing before entering the castle and disappearing from sight. Thank you. And sorry for what I'm about to do next. I can't just run off to Gummyville and forget everything that's happened. After I've seen the way the people of Sugar Rush are treated. No, someone needs to do something about that king. That someone is going to be me. And Lakritz can help too, I guess. I straighten my pajamas in best as I can and set off into the night. Not for Gummyville, but the Gumdrop Forest. Wait for me, Lakritz. I'm on my way. And there we have it. Truly the route split. Common route, of course. This does cover the common route. Ostensibly covers the common route because it ends with the route split. Do we agree with Lakritz's plan to overthrow the monarchy and eat the rich? Or do we try for a different option? There he is. There's the boy. And look at him, he's so fierce. Protect him. Honestly, I feel bad about leaving him to what awaits him back at the castle. But something has divided them. Even with him being under the thumb of his maniacal father. But gosh, wow. That opening was quite possibly one of the most endearingly charming bits of media I've ever experienced in my life. And even with that, before you know it, you're thoroughly sucked into the drama of the kingdom, too. It's wow. Effective bit of investment there. That immediately, effectively got me invested in Peppermint's character. But still, despite that, man, Lakritz. Yes, sir. I would overthrow a few kingdoms with you, Lakritz. But alas, the full release does indeed give us our two routes here. With Peppermint and Lakritz, we have seen the route split in here. We have 4 endings total, 2 good. Each route obviously having a good ending and a bad ending. Very curious to see what happens here. Very curious to see what happens here. That was unbelievably charming. The art style is fantastic. I love it. The candy aesthetic is amazing. God, just the way this so seamlessly went from the gacha humor. So seamlessly went from the gacha humor into the feeling of there is something very wrong in this kingdom. Oh god, oh fuck. And before you knew it, we are firmly invested in the fate of this kingdom and their residents. I thoroughly enjoyed that ride. This has been the common route, the demo of Candied Hearts. This is another one to keep your eyes on because this is a delight. This is just an absolute sweet treat. We've made it to the end of this. We've made it to the end of this. It's time for you to make your guesses in the comments section as to what the gacha games are that I do in fact play. There's 3 of them total. I've dropped some hints. I've dropped hints for 2 of them, at least. If you know them, you know them. There's a 3rd which I didn't drop as much hints as I meant to, but make your guesses in the comments below. And I will see you in in the next visual novel. Until next time, until then,